Hey, good evenings, Skyflat Stories. Hope you guys are good. Hoop het gaan goed saam met julle. Esteko Uncle is terug, and we have a very important topic we need to discuss. Something that happened over the weekend. We need to get the facts about this, what happened, and we're going to talk about it. You know, you saw the video I posted on Saturday with regards to the lady or the people that were removed from Gatesville. A lot of people are very unhappy with that, and we want answers. And with me in the studio tonight, I have the president of Jama-ah, Ganief Hendricks. He messaged me and said, you want to speak about it, he wants to look into this matter because the people's needs is important to him. And with me in the studio, I have him. And we're going to talk about what has happened in Gatesville and what was hulle verkeerd, was hulle reg gewees. I think we need to get to the basics of things. We need to unpack, what is happening. So welcome to Ganief Hendricks, welcome to Cape Flat Stories, and thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, good evening. Baie terima kasih. It's nice to be on Cape Flat Stories.
Thank you so much.
And it's a great honor for me to meet the people behind Cape Flat Stories.
Thank you.
And when I saw your post, your podcast, I was very happy that there is an outfit like yourself.
Thank you.
Who are bringing the issues of the people to our attention.
Thank you.
So as you know, I'm a member of parliament. I serve on the Portfolio Committee for Small Business. I used to serve on the Joint Intelligence Committee of Parliament. So I used to be a spook. But I decided I can do more with regard to creating jobs and assisting people to start up and with small businesses. So we've been working very hard the last 2 years in putting together programs and getting the budget for those programs. Later on, I may share some of these programs with you. But when I saw your podcast, I was very upset. I am still very upset. Yeah. So it is my job. We are now on our what they call constituency period. Now, it's not a holiday.
Yeah.
We are supposed to take parliament to the people and take the issues of the people to parliament. That's my job. That's why we got a 3% increase, which I know people are not very happy about. But in any case, it is also my job as a member of parliament to hold the 3 tiers of government to account. So in parliament, we hold the president, the deputy president, and the cabinet ministers to account. In the provincial legislature, we hold the members of that legislature to account, and we have a member of the party serving there on the ethics committee, that is a plenary committee. By the way, on Wednesday, he tells me that they are 4-man committee, but they already have 20 cases, 20 MPLs to discipline. Yeah. So it just shows you, what is happening. So we hold everyone to account.
Yeah.
And then obviously we hold the city of Cape Town to account. We hold the mayor to account. We hold all his mayoral committee members to account. That's our job as members of parliament.
Yeah.
So Parliament delegates certain responsibilities to province and to city, and we don't interfere with them. But we do oversight, and that's why we depend on people that are going out of their way to do podcasts like yourselves, Cape Flat Stories, so we know what's happening, and then we have to take them to account. So I'm very grateful that you have invited me here so that we can raise our concerns. And I would like to apologize to all those people who were affected on Saturday on behalf of Parliament. Because I just came this afternoon from our advocates. We went to chambers with our attorneys, and we got a legal opinion from them that what happened on Saturday is unconstitutional.
That's right.
So they are drawing up the papers, and they're going to tell us what the way forward is, and once that is done, we can share it with you if you are interested.
Please.
So that you know that it is just not talk. So that means that we want the Constitutional Court, the highest court in the land, to declare the bylaw that was used on Saturday unconstitutional.
Yeah.
But, I have to follow protocol. So I asked my councillors, Councillor Farid Ahmed and Councillor Ahmed Hendricks, and also Advocate Samima Sali, who are councillors. I demanded a report from them, what happened. So I have an official version. So they got an official version from 2 mayoral committee members, and this is what they wrote to the party, and this is now official on the record. So I'd just like to read that this is what JP said, and also the Honourable De Vos, who is in charge of traders.
Yeah.
So first of all, JP said, look, James is in charge of trading, so don't blame me.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, this is the report that his team submitted. On the 25th of June, which is Saturday, the city conducted a multi-departmental operation to address criminal activity, improve safety, and also respond to numerous complaints of illegal trading in Athlone and Gatesville. This was done alongside waste removal operations. The city's enforcement services also conducted crime prevention and bylaw operations where necessary. This included addressing informal trading that is conducted in non-designated areas and or without the necessary permits. The city supports the right of residents to make a living and has in recent years committed to a number of concessions for informal traders, particularly to soften the economic impact of COVID-19. However, traders are required to have permits that the city is duty-bound to ensure that everyone complies with the law. A situation where traders who have complied with the law and acquired permits have to trade alongside acquired stallholders who do have permits has generated complaints that the city could not ignore. The goods of 4 illegal traders were impounded, and 3 traders were fined for ignoring compliance notices previously served on them. 9 were fined for not having any trading permits, and 3 for trading at bus benches. 1 female was arrested for damage to city property after she allegedly damaged a vehicle with an iron bar and bricks. So that was the version. So that is an official version, and that is also in our court papers. Because the courts wants to know what is the incident.
That's right.
So when we hear what you say, or anyone else say, that is hearsay. So this is an official version from 2 mayoral committee members. So that is already in the court papers. Because, advocates take a bit of time to prepare their submissions and heads of arguments to the court. So we looked at laying a criminal charge against a mayor, and we looked at laying a criminal charge against these 2 mayoral committee members. And we also wanted to lay a criminal charge against the ward councillor for Highlands for that particular area, who happens to be a sheikh of the MJC. So we just felt that we told our lawyers that I want to go to the Athlone police station and I want to lay the criminal charges. So they are preparing what they call a fact sheet. Because you can't just go and lay a criminal charge. You have to show that they broke the law and that they are alleged criminals. At the same time, I mentioned earlier on that we got a legal opinion from an advocate, and advocates don't come cheap.
They're very expensive.
You come there, they give you a nice cup of coffee. They even brought me a sweetener. So but then the bill comes. But we just felt that this is so important, that the Cape Flats and the coloured community has been treated as the Cinderellas in South Africa.
That's right.
During the rule of the British, during the rule of apartheid, and now during the rule of the African National Congress. So it cannot be that the colored community on the Cape Flats must continue to be treated like the Cinderellas of South Africa. So the Jama-ah felt that we now need to do something. And when they heard that you invited me to this podcast, they said, Mr. President, put your money where your mouth is. You're going to talk and you're going to condemn the city of Cape Town, the mayor, but that is just talk. What are you going to do?
Yes.
Is the party going to put its hand in its pocket and do something concrete? Because, if you just go to the High Court, you're looking at 100,000 rand. It doesn't come cheap. So the lawyer then prepared gave us his first round thinking, which we call a legal opinion. Now, when you go to an advocate for a legal opinion, it doesn't come cheap.
That's right.
So tomorrow I'll get an accountant and must pay for the legal opinion. But it's fine. Because what has happened is very, very serious. In our view, it's unconstitutional, and it's also a criminal matter, starting with the people that I've mentioned earlier on. So, in a nutshell, there is a bylaw, and Parliament has delegated the opportunity for the third tier of government, which is municipalities, to make bylaws. But that bylaws can't be unconstitutional.
Yes.
And when you implement your bylaw, you can't commit a criminal act. So this is what happened on Saturday. So we want to put that on the record. And I'm sure that the city will hear about this podcast.
No, they will definitely.
So we want to be upfront. And all those who are listening to the podcast, that is our position. So I serve on the Portfolio Committee for Small Business Development, together with other political parties. And we also serve on a special committee for red tape reduction. So Jama-ah position is that there is no need for permits. People can trade wherever they want to. Wherever they see an open space, they can put up a table, they can put up a chair, and they can trade. In this particular, in Gatesville, you find that many of these traders don't have permits, and they don't have a cubicle or a parking bay or a trading bay that is dedicated to them. They just don't have it. But they've been trading there for 10, 15, 20 years.
And just to come in there, many of them actually got this business from their parents. It's something that they inherited. But this is what I want to bring to you. We need to make business easy for our people. En die fika weet nie eintlik hoe om 'n permit aansoek te doen voor nie. But that person shy away from doing business because our people use places like Gatesville and Town Centre to make business, to do business. We need to simplify applying for a permit. We need to make it easier. At the moment, a lot of people don't have money to apply for a permit. A lot of people don't have time because a permit takes time. You can't just apply for the permit today and you'll get it today. It takes a couple of days, a couple of weeks. And I think that is where the mayor promised us. That was one of his opening speeches. Just to remind him, he said that he will make business easy on in Cape Town. That includes the Cape Flats. So at the moment, it's not easy. We need to work on it. And I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel there's a lot of red tape when it comes to our people, when we apply for permits, when we apply. Even so, I believe also that the ward councillors need to be, of help. When somebody needs help to register for a permit, the ward councillors also need to do their job. In some cases, they're very selective on who they want to help. And I don't know how what's your response on that, but I think that doing business on the Cape Flats is, or in Cape Town, for our people, it's not easy.
Look, my response is quite simple, that as a member of the Portfolio Committee on Small Business, we've raised it in our meetings, and we have meetings every week.
Yeah.
And most of the political parties are represented on that meeting, although majority members are from the governing party, which is the ANC.
Yeah.
So one of the issues that we've raised is to reduce red tape.
Yeah.
And one of the issues Jama-ah has raised is that people must be allowed to trade wherever they want to with no need for a permit.
That's right.
So that position of Jama-ah reached the presidency. So in his Isona address, the president talked about opening the door for roadside businesses.
Okay.
And that there should be no need for any red tape.
Yeah.
And he said there should be no bylaws and there should be no interference from municipalities. So the president decided, together with the cabinet, that the issuing of permits will be taken away from municipalities.
Okay.
However, to do that, there needs to be legislation because of the arrangement between delegating powers to 3 tiers of government. You can't give a tier of government a right and just take it away. There has to be legislation. There has to be public participation. Yeah. But the cabinet has decided that the municipalities oppress the people with regard to the issuing of permits. So in the State of the Nation address this year, you know, our parliament burned down, so it took place in the City Hall.
That's right.
And he stated that there has been pressure from Jama-ah, there has been pressure from other political parties, and the cabinet has now decided that people must be able to trade whenever they want to trade, and there should be no permits, there should be no red tape like you mentioned earlier on. Yeah. But it takes a while. So in the meantime, the city of Cape Town can still require, they can still enforce permits. Now let me talk about permits. Yeah. We have a member of the Western Cape Parliamentary Legislature, Maulana Khalil Brinkhuis from the Strand.
Yeah.
So he went to Delft because his wife comes from Delft. Yeah. And the young people told him, Maulana, Kanala, help us with these permits. Yeah. So he got his computer, he gets a computer from Parliament. He gets free data, the best data, the fastest data. So he's got the right equipment. Yeah. So it may have changed now. This was in July last year. But you could only get the permit by applying online. So he went online. And he told me, Mr. President, I sat the whole morning, the whole afternoon trying to help these 6 youngsters. Yeah. I couldn't succeed. Oh. So if it's difficult for him to do the application online, and I mean he's a graduate from a university, you know, he's tech savvy. He's got the best equipment. The government gives him the equipment to do his job. He couldn't do it. How can Auntie Halima and how can Auntie Kathy go online or go to their phone? The phone doesn't have the same powers as a laptop or as a computer. It doesn't have the same configuration. But now you access the link and you now have to complete it.
That's right.
So it's impossible.
It is impossible.
So the lawyer has written that in his heads of arguments that the requirement for people that don't have access, is unconstitutional. So I don't want to reveal every aspect of our case, but he laid out about 12 reasons, and you only need one to declare that bylaw unconstitutional. Yeah. So that is the first thing. The second thing is that the Mrs. Honorable Zuma, when they did the regulations for COVID, she was instrumental to say that because there is poverty and people are suffering, permits must be free. Yeah. So And municipalities had no alternative because she acted in terms of the disaster regulations, which trumps everyone else, your bylaws as well.
That's right.
It's like a state of emergency.
Yes.
So permits is free. The city of Cape Town, after the mayor, you say, informed you that there will be red tape reduction, have extended free permits until December this year. So the city is, the city has done that. And so the mayor most probably has kept his word that he's going to do something by saying permits are free. So you get the permit free. So there's no need for you to pay for a permit. But I would imagine that I don't know what is required when you have to complete that online application form. And then you find that if I listen to your podcast, people were complaining about the problems they have when they go to the office. And I don't know if you want to later on delete this, but they say, as jy gaat na hy meid toe sê, help jou nie.
I actually read it as well, yes.
Right?
There's quite a few people
They made
that
So I have demanded to see the people. You see, as a member of parliament, I can do oversight without notice.
Yes.
So I have done the courtesy of writing a letter to say I want to do oversight with that office, whoever works in there. And I want to do oversight with the chief director that they report to. So if that doesn't happen, I'm going to lay a formal complaint with the speaker, and we will summons them to parliament to appear before the portfolio committee.
And I think that is the right thing, is that we can't just leave this. There's people's livelihoods at stake here. It's not that we want to fight now and politicize it, but like there's quite a few questions there where people said, Ashley Samuel says, people have been trading in Athlone all their lives with permits. Government soek weer geld van die hustlers. Remember, these people make a small stipend every month, every day. So they don't have money to actually buy a permit. And that is where government needs to also say, but okay, let's support them, let's meet them, let's come halfway, give them a subsidy. But when you mentioned earlier on, it was free. So why should they pay? David Litsa mentions here, red tape has always been barrier for self-wealth. So this has been an ongoing thing. And a lot of people are actually stopping from doing this type of training because I'm rather going to become go work in a mall at Pick and Pay at ShopRite, then I know I've got a stable income, as to start my own business. Because the thing is this, if I start my own business, there's a small business. We want to give people the opportunity to start their own businesses because now they can employ more people. But if we make it difficult for them to trade, then we're actually cutting into the market of creating jobs. I don't know how you feel about that.
The poverty level and the high employment rate is so high that government has, and the cabinet are very concerned that municipalities are oppressing the people, the poorest of the poor. And that's why they're going to take away that delegated responsibility to issue permits from municipalities, and government will now personally take responsibility for that. So the red tape reduction is so serious that the president has decided that even the government department for small business are too slow. Because just imagine a year ago when COVID hit us, government said, number one, people mustn't pay for permits. And number two, the municipalities are holding people to ransom. They are oppressing the people. And he heard that the colored people are particularly oppressed. And he said, I'm taking that away from you because you are oppressing the people and we get a bad name. So this issue, is of very serious consequence. So when the court papers reaches government and reaches the province and the city, they are all in it. They are all dragged in. They are all interested parties. And in the case of Gatesville, the emphasis from the lawyers, from the advocates will be the ward councillor, because he is supposed to service the people in that particular ward. He's supposed to ensure that nothing unconstitutional is done. He's supposed to ensure and that no criminal activity takes place. So Al Jama-ah's position is that what happened on Saturday are criminal offences, and it's not we that are saying it. I have the report here from our advocate, and he's saying it is unconstitutional because one of your respondents mentioned that there are barriers. Now, when you have barriers for people to trade so that they can take their families out of poverty, those barriers then are constitutional, because the Constitution gives you the right to earn a living. It gives you a right, for example, to trade. And the city of Cape Town, from the mayor downwards to the ward councillor for Gatesville, they have now breached those rights, and people can't put food on the table. And that is, like I already said, criminal. And so we as members of parliament, you know, we can talk about it like we're doing that, and thank you for giving us the opportunity. But we've got to put our money where our mouth is. So we are we've consulted with attorneys. This afternoon I was in Chambers, and it's Monday, so this happened on Saturday. So, I mean, this is the quickest that we could act and get an appointment. So the whole issue is of such a serious nature that we are worried now that the people that traded on Saturday, where are they going to get money to put on the food on the table until next Saturday?
That's right.
Right? They get their 350 grant. Some of them don't get it anymore. Some people buy material and they make goods to sell. So that the 350 rand verder kan gaan. Now it can't happen.
No.
So that is for us very serious, and we've already talked to government about other interventions. That the material is very expensive. It used to be 15 rand a meter by Kwai Lapis. Now it's 60 rand.
That's right.
So that 350 buys less material, and they have less to sell. So government has agreed that in our constituency, and we doing a pilot project in Lentegeur, in New Lentegeur and West Lentegeur, that they're going to give people between 10 and 30,000 rand to buy material. Government is also prepared in New Lentegeur and West Lentegeur as a pilot. Later on, they can go to the other areas to give people up to 10,000 rand for fruit and vegetables, but they must buy it from someone that's going to train them, that's going to mentor them, that's an expert, and that buys big. So if we have 5 people that gets the 10,000 to buy fruit and vegetables, dan moet hulle by Ahmad gaan koop. Because Ahmad is going to buy it for them at the best price. He buys big, and he's going to train them, and he's going to make sure they also become Ahmads one day. So, but we don't only work in the Cape Flats. In Groudville, in Stanger, the people grow peanuts. The best peanuts come from Stanger. But now the people, government has now agreed at our request to teach them how to make peanut butter. And they even want to make halal peanut butter because they say the Muslims like peanut butter. So we are assisting there. So we need to get young women and young people, give them government opportunities to take their families out of poverty. So that's what we are all about. And when this came on Saturday, after doing all that hard work,
now it's actually
and we see that, Al Jama-ah, you've got to go deeper. You're worried about peanut butter, about dressmaking, about fruit and vegetables. What about that Buddha there who bought a big bag of chips? And from the big bag, he made 20 packets and he sold it. Some of them had stuff on the table. Maybe they knitted. maybe they bake the cookies that you talked about.
Yes.
The snowballs, the red snowballs.
Yeah.
And here comes a law enforcement officer and pushes the table over.
Yeah.
And you heard the remarks of that one guy.
Yeah.
Boerom.
Yeah. I've actually heard that. But that Ganief brings me to also, like you mentioned, these people don't have money anymore. So you took their loss now. You took what they were selling for the week. How are they going to survive now? It's Monday. You took away their stock. So what are they going to do now from this Monday to Saturday? It's only month end now. They still need to pay their debt and stuff. So you did not only take the stuff from them, but some way, somebody's going to turn to crime because they have to provide.
Yes, and I read one of your podcasts where they were saying that the 12, 13 years old is not enough money in the house.
Yeah.
And these young people feel that, ons moet ons ma and pa help. And then they go and they sell drugs and they do all kinds of illegal stuff. They rob people. But they do it because there's no food on the table. Die ma and die pa is 'n bietjie oud.
Yes.
And they've got the energy. And we've read about cases where young people went to completed high school. A tremendous sacrifice to the parents.
Yeah.
And even went to college, but they don't have a job. So what do? They see that the family depends on them and they're not delivering. They commit suicide.
Yes.
So it is quite a serious problem. And, we just have to speed up and fast track a situation where people can trade without any red tape, like you mentioned earlier on about red tape.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a Muslim. I'm from the Muslim community. Sheikh Saki Gamildin of the District 6 Mosque in the 60s and 70s, every khutbah on Friday, he said, if you want beloning, if you want the reward from God, you must koop en verkoop.
That's right.
Each time that you buy something, you're actually getting rewards from the Creator. And when you sell, you get double the rewards.
That's right.
Because you're creating the economic activity. So people worried about Salah and fasting, which is fine, and they go to Mecca. By the way, it's 100,000 rand now to go to Mecca.
It's a lot of money.
We used to go with 7,000 rand. Now it's 100,000 rand. So koop en verkoop is a fundamental principle in our community. We can't get jobs. All the job goes to the Africans. All the bursaries goes to the Africans. But the colors is nothing for us. So what we can do, and we do it very well, we can sell.
That's right.
We can sell from the kitchen. And we can go on a world tour.
But that's true. That has always been like that. You remember, growing up, this was part of a culture.
From the kitchen, we can sell and we can go and visit the Pope. We can go on pilgrimage to Rome. So I would once again like to apologize, to the people that were affected. I'll be very happy if they contact me or contact you, and I would sit down with them. Because another criminal activity was they didn't seize the goods properly. There's a procedure when you seize goods, when you store goods. So if you seize a snowball, you can only seize it if you need it as evidence when you lay a case or a charge. And then you got to present that snowball to the judge or the magistrate and say, here's the snowball like it was. But what did they do? They turned the tables around.
That's right.
And those law enforcement people who did that, if this was in the West, they should be hanged from the highest tree. I know our Constitution doesn't allow that, and as a member of Parliament, I'm not supposed to say that. But figuratively speaking, they've committed like crimes against humanity.
That's right.
So they're not only criminals, criminals, petty criminals and so on. It's at a higher level. It's a crime against humanity because what was done was not humanitarian.
No. It wasn't alcohol, it was not drugs. It was somebody's stock that they sell to make money for a living. Today, they were supposed to feed their children. Tomorrow, with that stock, tomorrow they're supposed to feed their children. So if there's no stock, they can't feed their children. And that is what we've done. Like I mentioned to you earlier on, the problem is doing business in our community is very difficult because there's a lot of red tape. We need to unpack that red tape and see how can we help Auntie Fika down the road. How can we help Auntie Kathy down the road to easily register. Our people can't wait for 2-3 weeks. Our people can't wait for a month. It needs to happen immediately. And for that reason, that's where we call the City of Cape Town, the mayor, and other political parties to sit down and find possible solutions.
So the President Ramaphosa has appointed a person to be in charge of red tape reduction in the presidency at Parliament.
Okay.
So I've asked for a meeting because I can have oversight over him. To show him your podcast, so your podcast is going to Parliament.
Awesome, thank you.
Right? And to show him and let him watch the podcast. And by the way, when our advocate watched the podcast, he watched the whole podcast.
Yeah.
And to see how the seizure is taking place. And he says, but this is unconstitutional, this is criminal. And, you know, the longer the advocate sits and watches a podcast, our bill is running up.
Yes, yes.
But I felt he must see the whole podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said, but this is criminal, this is unconstitutional. The way they're seizing it and the way they have removed people's stuff. And every item that they remove must be recorded and must be in its original condition.
That's right.
So we are going to go all the way with this particular case because we felt it's a matter of national importance and it harms the poorest of the poor, and we cannot allow that to happen. So Jama-ah calls on everyone that was involved to come forward, either to come and see me.
Yeah.
Our parliamentary constituency office is 5 Bolton Street in Rondevlei, Weltevreden. The mosque is in the same street.
Okay.
The Al-Azhar Primary School is the same street.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to find on your way to Westgate Mall on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
You turn left to the Lentegeur Psychiatric Hospital.
Okay.
And that's where we are. We're not in the psychiatric hospital. That's a long way down, right? So you don't have to go there. The people that have to go there are those law enforcement officers that cause this harm to the people. They must all go to the Lentegeur Psychiatric Hospital. Yeah. And the mayor and his 2 MECs and the ward councillor, because what they did was mad.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they will be admitted.
Yeah.
But certainly, you know, that is. But come to our offices or contact you, and I'm sure you'll pass on the information to us, so that we can meet with people that lost their goods, and we can then take the necessary. Our attorneys will take the necessary action to restore their rights and to restore their dignity. They didn't come to Gatesville to come and steal. To come and rob and kill. They the night before they prepared their goodies and they wanted to make 50 Rand or 100 Rand the next day.
That's right.
So that they can have some money to put bread on the table every day. Those people are the best of God's creation.
They're hard-working people.
They're the best of God's creation.
But here's a lady or gentleman, Sadiq Jordan. I used my last money on Friday to go buy in stock for Saturday. When the people took my stuff, I felt like crying because there's my money down the drain. I needed to go borrow money to fetch my stock in Belleville today. So that person spent money to buy the stock. And that person also had to borrow money today to fetch the stock. We have caused these people a lot of heartache and a lot of money, a lot of inconvenience. And I think the city should maybe look into this better and see how they can reimburse these people.
Okay, they can compensate, You see, these people that the whole issue of some people are arguing, number one, they don't have permits. Yeah. But the obstacles to get a permit is so onerous that argument falls away.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that online permits is a problem, the office is not very accommodating, according to some of the people that posted on your podcast.
Yeah.
But there's two sides to the story. That's why we're going to do a parliamentary oversight visit to hear their side of the story and to find out how accommodating they are. Then as far as the trading space is concerned, that is outsourced to someone who allocates it, and there's a lot of stories about as Vijay Ken, who jy 'n plekkie kry.
Yeah, yeah.
So we just feel that the city they will engage the best advocates, lawyers, and pay 10 times what we are paying. And they will argue, number one, you must have a permit, and they didn't have a permit. Yeah. You saw the report.
Yeah, yes.
Number two, they were trading in a space not allocated to them. Yeah. And other traders were objecting to, we've got a permit, they don't have a permit. But they didn't even pay for their permit.
Yeah.
They didn't even pay. No one pays for a permit.
Yeah.
You see, I'm a Muslim. And for us, and also Christians, rizq, earning some money comes from Allah, comes from God. And no one will argue if anyone earns a rand or 2 here or there, because that's your rizq, that's your gift from God.
Yeah.
The mayor and the 2 mayoral committee members and the ward councillor, who's a Maulana, took the rizq away from the people. You can't commit a bigger sin and a crime like that. You will burn in hell. And later on, if you can pardon, then you can go to Jannah. But you will have to be punished for what you did to those people. It's unacceptable. You can't take away people's rizq.
Yeah. And a lot of people felt, at the time that they were forsaken. The people that they voted for. I mean, a lot of our elderly uncles and aunties voted for the DA. That's the people that they felt that were going to protect them. And I want to say this, I'm not into parties and that, but I think we need to look at, the majority of people living still on the Cape Flats is 44%. It's colored people.
Yes.
And that was the people that voted for the DA, most of them. My mother, before she passed away, voted for them. And they feel that the DA can give them better. So, but this doesn't indicate that. And I think that the DA has disappointed them in the sense that this has been going on not since Saturday. It has been going on for a very long time. And we need to find alternatives to make job creation easy for our people.
Well, I can tell you that as a member of parliament, I don't want to bring Jama-ah and politics in this. We don't want to score political points. This is not an issue that you must score political points on. So I'm not going to comment on the DA and people shouldn't vote for them, and people have a right to vote whoever they want.
Yes, that's correct.
But as a member of parliament, I'm not going to give up on this particular matter. And I would like to come to your studio, very nice studio you have here.
Yeah, thank you.
And you have some very high-tech professional technicians behind the scenes. I would like to come back here one day.
Yeah.
And then I would like to tell you that, Uncle Stan, die mense kan nou trade wherever hulle wil.
Wow.
No permits. They can just, if they get a job, it's fine. They don't have to trade. Nice job, pension fund, medical aid, 13th check. That's fine. But not all of us have that luxury. So we have to make ends meet and trade. And then, you must be able to trade wherever you want. If you want to go to Bishop's Court and there's an open space that belongs to public works, you put up your table there and you sell. Daai mense mos geld. You're not going to put up a table where people don't have money.
That's
you
right.
go to Bishop's Court, you go to Rondebosch, you go to Newlands, and you put up your table. And white people will buy from you if your products are good.
That's
and,
right.
They will support you and they will, and so on. So the same with people that sell fish. You can sell wherever you want to. They don't have a permit.
Yeah.
They find a nice spot on the road and hulle vlek hy snoeke oop en jy kan kom koop en binne an hour all the fish are sold.
That's right.
So, ek wil nie praat van die kriefnekkies hier, maar al ander goede waar aan gaan. Mense weet wat ons doen met die kriefnekkies. Hulle ding, hulle gaan vir ons vang, en ons kan die kriefnekkies kry, ons weet hoe om die kriefnekkies te kry. But I think it's very important that, other political parties support what we are doing. We don't want to take the credit. We are going to the High Court. We are busy doing the papers, and we want to declare that bylaw of the city unconstitutional until government has changed the legislation, taking that responsibility away from the city of Cape Town, because they are oppressed. They are using it as a tool of oppression. The white man likes to oppress, and whatever they can do, they will oppress. So that's what they are doing. Although there are some of them who have got good hearts. That's right. I think the mayor's got a good heart. Even the force has a good heart. Even JP has a good heart. But, somehow or another, there's someone pulling the strings.
There's somebody from the top.
So if the other stallholders at Gatesville have laid the complaint, which they say here in the letter, then they must understand that they're going against God's will and taking people's rizik out of their mouth, and they must be ashamed of themselves. If the shops around there are complaining, they don't complain against people who have permits. So why complain against these butas and titis and omas and aunties, who are making 100 rand, 150 rand a day, and we have to now borrow money to buy more stock. That's right. That buta is trading without a permit. What has happened is not going to stop him, because hy moet kos op die tafel sit.
That's right.
And our young people needs to understand it's their responsibility after being educated to take the family out of poverty.
And I think that's the main thing, is to take the family out of poverty. That we put something on the table to eat. Ek weet, Ganief, kos is duur, petrol is duur.
Of course.
So if you take away my stock, it means I can't sell. I don't have nothing to sell. So I think if people want to get in contact with you, they need to contact you, because this is something that we need to fight. It's not about political parties, but I think you're fighting for the people that lost everything over the weekend, and those before them as well.
If someone comes to me saying, Ganief, it must call me Honorable Hendricks, was in the parliament, they say Honorable Hendricks. Honorable Hendricks, I had 20 snowballs. They confiscated it. Get it back for me. We will make the effort. If they say that, look, my 20 pakkies chips het hulle gekras, get it back for me. Die baby sokkies wat ek genit het, I want it back. They must just come forward, do a little affidavit, and that will be in the papers. And we want the judge to rule that Auntie Mary's 10 baby socks must be returned to, or the city must pay for it. But they have to come forward. If they don't come forward, what can we do? We will go, and the lawyer has, I don't want to give the secret away. The lawyer has found that this is a class action.
Okay.
I don't have to be personally affected. It's a class action. And he's identified the class of people so well. I was really impressed with him. If he sends his bill tomorrow, we will pay it. Wow. I was so impressed the way he said, you need to have describe the people that are affected, and that's a class action. But it will help if those people who lost their stuff and who are worried that they're going to lose their goodies in other places besides Gatesville, they must just let us know. They can go to our website. It is Jama-ah, www.jama-ah, and they'll get all our details. They can go on Facebook, they go on Twitter. You just Google it and you will get all the details. You even get my phone number. So they must contact us, they must contact you, because I'm so impressed with the Cape Flat stories that they are taking up these issues that harm the poorest of the poor. And if you do that, one can only admire you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But we can't do it alone. We need to do it collectively. We need you, we need me, we need all of us to stand up about this. For me, it's about speaking for the people of the Cape Flat, speaking for the people of Cape Town.
Well, you're certainly doing that.
Thank you.
You're getting a member of parliament out of bed. I'm 72 years old. I'm supposed to be sleeping now.
Yes.
Die vrou moet nou die warm bottel water daar gesit het. My voete moet nou raaf. I'm sitting here in Zukuflei and it's cold. Ek het daar 'n jersey on. Why do you think I'm coming out here?
Yes.
Because I just felt that you went the extra mile to let us know about this and to show my appreciation.
Thank you, sir. And so we will fight this fight. We will stand with you guys. No, we're not taking sides, but what we're saying here, it's wrong. It has been wrong for many years. My grandmother used to be a informal trader.
Yes.
My great-grandfather used to be a informal trader. My cousins are now informal traders. So we must protect them as well. And for that reason, we need to find a better process to help our people. So thank you so much. People will contact me and I will contact you. And thank you for coming in. Any last words? I know you guys are busy with the brilliant projects. I'm following you guys. Ek wil so baie weggee nie, but I've got a couple of contacts. So I know you guys are busy in Zikuflei in Lentegeur.
Yes.
With the project that is going to change Lentegeur forever. So do you want to speak about that? Because I know you were in the papers. Just to give people an idea what you guys are busy with. Because one of the things is, when it comes to election times, people always say, but I know you guys are busy. I know you guys are on the ground working with organizations. Just tell us more about the project, the pilot project that you guys are running in Lentegeur.
Yeah, we're working with government, but government doesn't have money.
Yeah.
But they have a partner, which is the United Nations food program to put food on the table. So that program is to get women, I'm sorry about the men now, but women and young people, which is males and females, to take their families out of poverty. So we have pitched for the funding. Jama-ah has pitched for the funding. I, as a member of parliament, have pitched for the funding. So they are prepared to give dressmakers work from home.
Wow.
We've got a little sewing machine that makes something today, and they already have a market and they sell it tomorrow. But they don't have material. That 350 Rand grant that they get can't buy enough material.
Yeah.
So we've persuaded them to give these people 10 to 30,000 as a grant. And then to form a cooperative that will give them further grants. Okay. And the decision who gets the grant or not is up to the world, the United Nations. They've got their people that does the verifications. So I've managed to get funding for 90 people. I don't know where the figure 90 comes from.
Okay.
So 45 will be from West Lentegeur.
Okay.
And the other 45 from New Lentegeur. New Lentegeur is where the mall is.
Okay.
And West Lentegeur is on the other side. So that is the area we're going to cover.
Wow.
So when that happens, then we're going to put in the application and we go over the railway line.
Yeah.
And we go to that area, and then we go to all over, because there is funding available internationally for this, so long as government gives 10%.
Okay.
And government has agreed to give the 10%.
Okay.
I met the Minister of Social Welfare twice in 1 week. Now, to meet a minister twice in 1 week is not easy.
It's a big deal.
And I've got her support, Minister Zulu. She's very passionate to help the colours on the Cape Flats.
I love that.
Because I told her straight on, that you're just helping Africans.
Yeah.
In Parliament.
Yes.
Told the President in Parliament, what have you got against the colours? What have we done for you?
Yeah.
Why do you hate us?
Yeah.
Why is there nothing for us? So then we spoke to the Minister of Agriculture that there are a lot of open spaces in Lentegeur and New Lentegeur.
Yeah.
And other areas on the Cape Flats. So they said, okay, if you can get an experienced fruit seller to take under his wing 5 or 10 youngsters and teach them the business, we'll give you up to 10,000. We'll give the youngster up to 10,000 Rand of money, but he must buy it from the person who's going to teach them.
His mentor.
So there's an incentive for the mentor.
Wow.
And the mentor can expand his business, and the mentor will sell it to them at half the price that they get it at the market.
Yeah.
So they will benefit. They will get it at a good price. Yeah. So that is also agreed to, those two particular projects. And the whole idea is any other project.
Yeah.
If anyone comes to me and say, look, get government to sponsor this because it will help women, it will help young people take their families out of poverty.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be baie poor.
Yeah.
You must be someone that, like that Buddha now, has to put food on the table, so he's got to raise money all the time.
Yes.
Right? And so we are looking at any project. Just imagine peanut butter. We toch gedink peanuts gaat nou, will be something that the people in Stanger, in Groudville, where Chief Albert Tuli is, his village, they now want to go one step further, and we got them the funding.
Yeah. Wow.
We got them, and we already gave them 3 lessons on how to grow peanuts, and now the next lessons is, once you have your peanuts, how do you convert it into peanut butter?
Peanut butter.
And it's going to be, and there are many other projects which we had a time we can unpack it, but we are on a mission.
Yeah.
Jama-ah and myself as a member of parliament, we are on a mission to help everyone.
Yeah.
Although government is focusing on women and focus on the youth, we are there to help anyone take their family out of poverty.
Awesome.
That's all.
And that's what we want. We want people to work. We want people to have money. We want people to live. And what the things happening now is people can't afford to live. I mean, petrol elite is almost 30 rand. And for that reason, we need to create opportunities for our people.
You know, I'm a labor expert. When I worked in the corporate world, I was a HR director for Naspers, for Nestle, for Lion Match, all the top companies. So I was regarded as one of the top guns in the corporate world when it came to job creation. I got an award as a pioneer of the internet in 2002 from Naspers for creating next generation jobs. Yeah. I'm now busy with artificial intelligence to see how we can, leverage jobs out of that. But I think it is very important, to create jobs.
That's right.
And the president has got a localization project. And I want to explain very quickly what it is. A localization means that the big companies can't make that product anymore. You must buy it from someone in a township.
Okay.
You must buy it from someone on the Cape Flats. And Pick n Pay and Checkers have already agreed that they won't buy from the previous manufacturers. They will only buy it from the small businesses, and they don't have to pay for the shelf space. They don't have to pay to register it on their database because that's 100,000 rand just to get your product listed with Pick n Pay. Yeah. So we already have a dozen products that's listed and that's qualified. One of the products, now don't laugh please, one of the products that is already a localization project, and the big companies can't make it anymore. It must be you and me and those in the townships that make it. It's acha.
Yo, mango acha.
Any acha. Right?
Wow.
So there's 1,000 of those products. And one day when we have time, I will start listing it. Yeah. And our people can then say, ek gaan nou hy goed maak.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure peanut butter is next on the list. It's easy to make peanut butter.
Okay.
It does, now don't, so someone will make a joke about this and say, well, the way you make peanut butter is, jy vat die mankenat, jy kou het, as sit jy in 'n flesie af, kom jy as 'n peanut, gooi jy potte by die peanut. No, it's more sophisticated.
Yeah.
But thank you very much. Like
Thank
I say,
so much.
that last thing, that we the person that helps President Ramaphosa with EPW jobs and for students to be employed at schools is Patricia de Lille.
Okay.
So she helps the president's project to give jobs to indigent people who can't get jobs. Yeah. So in Parliament, I forced her to agree that South Africa will have full employment for the poor. Not grants anymore, but full employment for the poor.
What we want, yes.
Look, the people who are disabled must get their grants. Die wat blind is, they can't work. Well, you know, but I mean the others, why must they get 150? I don't know what, 350?
350.
They want jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm going to change. I told you earlier on, I was a top gun in the labor field. Yeah. I was also a secretary of a trade union for 10 years for people with disabilities. So what I'm doing, I'm busy changing the labor laws to enable companies to stop moaning because they say the labor laws are very expensive. So we're going to have special labor laws just for the poor.
Okay.
The poor are not worried about sick leave and annual leave and 13 check. Hulle wil net weg.
Something for the table, yes.
So all of that we're going to take away.
Yeah.
And we're going to have our private members bill in Parliament. And the Speaker's already given me 2 advocates and a supervisor to do my private bills, just like the ruling governing party can do. Yeah. And we will change the legislation and make it easy to force employers to employ the poorest of the poor. And the government makes sure that the poorest of the poor are guaranteed employment. So we're talking about full employment only for the poor.
Okay.
The trade unions can worry about the other people.
Yeah.
But the poorest of the poor who are unemployed, who are getting grants, must be guaranteed a job.
That's right.
And then the next step is every matriculant, the day he gets his matric certificate, he must walk into a job.
But it used to be like that. Back in the day when I finished school, it used to be like that. When we finished school in matric, you could at least get a job with the matric certificate. I'm not talking about in the early 90s. It used to be like that. So we need to bring that back again because we have young people with matric certificates, with the BA degree, with the BCom, that can't find jobs.
So now they are so, hulle voel so skaam that they can't do something for their family, they commit suicide.
Yeah, that is true.
And that's why, you know, we as parliamentarians, we need to just do what we can to take families out of poverty. So any project that those who listen to your podcast have in mind, come and see us. Because we have access to 40 cabinet ministers. Okay. And I've had wonderful cooperation from them.
Yeah.
They're not only helping Jama-ah, they're also helping the ACDP.
That's right.
Because all parliamentarians, government departments must assist us to serve our constituency. So we want to bring government programs to the Coloureds, to the Cape Flats. So I know straightforward say.
But that is the right
I don't have time for other, there's other MPs that can do the other communities. Although I'm doing something for the people in Stanger, those are mostly Zulus, right? And I hope you're going to buy their peanut butter.
I will definitely.
You know, but I mean, we don't have time for anything else, but, you know, we have to look after the Cape Flats. Yes. I was born in District 6. I was born in Dry Docks, in Richmond Street in District 6, and then in my dad had a shop in Dry Docks. Yeah. We've got to give something back.
We have to. Ganief, we went over the time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot for me, for him, that you are here. The fact that you came, you know, this time of the night to have an interview with us and to speak about our people and helping our people. Opening a case means a lot to us. So thank you so much, Ganief, Honorable Ganief Hendricks, President of Jama-ah, for coming out and for supporting our people.
No, it's a pleasure and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ganief Hendricks. You can follow him on Facebook. He's also on Instagram as well as Twitter. And I think the other thing is, I don't know, TikTok? Website as well. So you guys can follow
TikTok,
him. TikTok, okay. Nog gedaan. But you guys can follow him, listen to the ideas. Please share this podcast. Please do share it. I know you guys are sleeping, but I know tomorrow morning a couple of thousand of people will have watched this. Please tag the people in that were evicted or that were offended on Saturday so that we can take the matter further. It's not about political parties, but it's about helping our people growing their businesses, getting their stands back, and also getting their permits. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Stanley Jacobs from Cape Flats Stories, and I'll chat to you guys soon again. Cheers.